plaintiff, Tammy McCauley, says the defendant is her goddaughter. And after her parents separated, the defendant started skipping school, became pregnant, and got in trouble for shoplifting. Tammy's suing for the balance due on 2 loans. Defendant Vivian Akers admits that she made some mistakes in her past, but insists she's trying to better her life for the sake of her child. Vivian insists Tammy is suing her for more than she owes.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Vivian's godmother. We're also second cousins. Her mother was raised with me. We're more like sisters, so Vivian actually calls me her aunt. Halfway through her life span, her parents separated and her mother became a single parent, and Vivian gained the task of kind of taking care of herself, getting herself off to school and back. Started to get in trouble, skipping school, running with the wrong crowd. So I tried to bribe her by saying, if you stay in school, I'll give you an airline ticket anywhere you want to go when you graduate. I wasn't successful in that. And before we knew it, then she was going to have a beautiful son that she now has, and we'd all hoped that that would put her on the path to get one foot over in front of the other and the hurdle to get right with herself. She's had some struggles. She's a good girl. She's smart. She's a good person, works hard. She just can't get over the hurdle of staying on track.
What's throwing her off track?
I think a lack in faith in herself, sir. She's had some problems with the law. She's, driving without a driver's license. I mean, just go get a driver's license. She had a shoplifting charge, but that's been in her past. But she keeps, now from what I understand, she's gainfully employed, on the right track again. And then we get in this situation.
Let me hear from you, young lady.
So Tamra is my cousin, but I've always called her Aunt Tammy my whole life. She's my godmom. Recently she has been spiteful. She got into it with my mom, so that's why I'm here, because I don't pay anything to my mom. So my mom asked her for a rent and she got upset about it and started inboxing me, which I have papers here, I don't know if you want to see them, where she's calling me names, just really
why?
I don't know why.
Here she is.
I mean,
ask her today.
Maybe
she calls you names and you don't know why, and you haven't asked her. Well, now is no better time to ask her why she calls you names.
Hey, why do you call me names, Tammy?
What name did I call you?
A dumb.
When you do dumb things and act like an makes you a dumb.
Okay.
She has a problem with authority, sir, and I inboxed her and asked her why. I was to find out that the family was seeking a loan to cover the rent. If everybody's working, why are bills getting paid? She told me that's none of her business. She doesn't pay to live there. It has nothing to do with her. Well, if you're under that roof, it's your business. If your child lives there, it's your business. And that's what I didn't understand. So this banter went back and forth. Her mother had court that morning. She didn't even provide her transportation to the court. I had to.
What did she do to you to cause you to refer to her in that way? I mean, if she's unwise or making youthful mistakes, you can find another way to say it. You say she looks down on herself. Yeah, if somebody calls her dumb all the time, if you call me dumb all the time, I second guess whether I was dumb.
Well, so the conversation was long before we got to that situation. That was at the end of the conversation. We leave off the part where she tells me I'm a rude and that I think I own people.
Oh.
And
so it was a back and forth.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And does anyone else have an issue with your lifestyle or your, I guess she's describing you as unproductive?
Well, I work. I'm a single mom. Mm-hmm. I haven't gotten in trouble in a while. Why she's bringing the theft up. I do help my mom. I pay $550 a loan just to drive a vehicle.
Well,
and I do
I'm not
have
talking
license.
about the money as much as she implied that there were some other things in your life that were either destructive or causing you to be unproductive. I'm saying right now, you say you work and you have a child, taking care of that child.
Yes, and I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to better my life for my child.
Okay.
And I looked up to her as a role model.
Yeah,
and
man.
now I don't know.
This is something I'm missing because you don't come across as that type of woman that would degrade her or look down on her or diminish her because she's not where you might expect her to be. I mean, every parent has a child, perhaps, that's like that. Some parents think that their child should be president and the child is only a congressperson. So my point is you can diminish anyone, but that's your expectation. My son, he works for the U.S. Senate, has my name, Greg Jr., and I used to be in politics in Detroit. Folks came to me, see if your son wants to run for state senate, and all the folks who can get him elected came. I said, son, they want you to run for state senate. You want to run? You got a name? All the powers that be want you to run? He said, no. I said, son, no, Dad, I don't want to do that. That's what I wanted him to do, though. He said, I don't want to do it. He loves his life, fine life. My other son, the youngest one, he was a basketball star in high school. Got letters to go to college on a scholarship to play basketball, my youngest son, Amir. And I was encouraging him. I wanted him to do it. This is a funny thing, the way he said it to his response. I said, son, if you go and play basketball, all the girls, you get all the girls, I'm trying everything I can.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one, right? So I thought, I said, you'll be the man on campus. I said, all the athletes, they're the man. And that right, Peterson, your brother, Mo Peterson, he was the man at Michigan State. And so I'm telling him that. He looked at me, he said, Dad, I'm going to be the man wherever I go. Wherever I do. I haven't said a thing since to either one. But that's something I wanted. And I think he might even said that. He said, that's what you want. I said, that ain't what I want to do. So I want to be a filmmaker and a producer, and that's what he is, a successful producer. And so I say that to say to you, ma'am, you can't put your expectations on someone else, particularly a young person, and you're barely out of her teenage years. She has a lot of growth potential, and she's trying. And by your own admission, she's doing better now that she's had the child. And then you even suggested that the child's helping to turn her around. Lift her up, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, do that. Lift her up. Now, when I want you to come down on her is when she gains a destructive lifestyle that hurts her and or her child. That's when you come down on her. She's not on crystal meth. She's not on heroin. She's not on opioids. Believe me, I know it when I see it. And she's not on any of those things. She just pick up a little something every now and then that don't belong to her. But, you know, don't you worry about people bringing stuff up from your past. They still bring my past up, but it's all right, isn't it? I'm
Yes,
all
sir.
right, aren't I?
Yes, sir.
It worked out, didn't it?
Yes.
It's going to work out for you. Let them bring up your past all they want. But you will be a success story, and that's what I portray, a success story. All right. Let's get to the loan. Let's get to the loans you're suing her about. At least you were nice enough to make the loans, obviously, but tell me what happened.
So correct. Again, trying to help lift her up. She's headed on the right path again, is gainfully working and needs a vehicle. She calls me. I don't seek out people to loan money to. She asked me about the loan. I went with her to help her get a car. We negotiated the price, and I put up the money.
How much?
$1,100.
That's how much you put up. Mhm.
Yes. She signed the paperwork. I had her sign a promissory note.
Oh, good. Let's see that. That makes it a lot easier.
Thank you.
Don't you make a fool out of me and tell me no lie after I read this. Go ahead.
So obviously I had her sign the promissory note because she is a young person and has had mistakes, but everybody, like I said, one foot in front of the other, hoping to help herself move forward. I told her she can work off money, she can pay me, as you see the note says.
Work it
she can
off
pay
how?
me. I own a catering business
Okay.
and can use help.
Good.
Now she would have a reliable vehicle, she can make some deliveries for me, learn the trade possibly. So, next thing we go, it's a month later, and the car loan place has called me. The car's been repossessed. She authorized them to call me. She did not suggest, but they asked if they could reach out to me. Several thousand miles had been put on the car, and a payment had never been made.
Okay,
So
what about the second loan? You're suing for $1,440.
Yes, so I went to the car loan place again on her behalf and with her, paid the repossession fee and the 3 missed payments that she had not paid, bringing the total to $540, and I
Paid
have
every
paperwork.
payment.
$1,440.
Well, it was $1,640, sir. So then after we made that second agreement for the second loan, she agreed to also come and work for me, which she worked $300 off
Got it.
what she
That's how
owed,
we got it
but
down.
kept 100 of it because she needed
So
my
that's
tax
how we
for the
got
car.
it down. What do you say, ma'am, young lady?
So she's right about the 1,100, and it was 616, and I put 100 in on it, so it was 516 she paid, and then I worked 400 off, and she loaned me $100, so I gave 100 off of that back to her, so it was 300 that I had paid off from working for her. So that's 1,300.
Okay. So that's all we're disputing today?
Yes,
Is
sir.
whether it's 1,300 or 1,440? Mm-hmm. All right.
Here's the receipts for the additional amount that I paid at the car lot.
Well, ma'am, when was this? This was July 31st, and this was June 30th. Well, what you should have done, or the law requires, that if you are asking me to enforce this, this is what I have to enforce, because any agreement subsequent to that has to be in writing, meaning you have to amend the document. It's called the parole evidence rule in the law, and the theory is that if you have something in writing, the only way you can change it is in writing. You can't change a written agreement with a verbal amendment. So I have to go with this, and then I'll accept her admission that she owes a couple of hundred more than what this says. But I'm going to rely on this and then her admission, which sounds like an honest admission. And that's another example of someone who's on the right track. And grant you your judgment of $1,300. All right?
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank
Continued success to you.
I hope she continues on the right path. I did it to help her, not to hinder her. So I hope it all works out for her. She's a smart girl, and I love her.
Love you too.
That's never happened.
Take care of yourself, okay?